everyone. Today is day 10 of 150 days DSA. Today I solved two problems, that is reversing the array and finding whether a given string is palindrome or not. So previously I used to just remember the answer, and that too not the optimized one. I just remember the brute force approach, but today I came to know the optimal solution and the reversing approach. So in today's challenge I learned about reversing the array using 2 pointers and reversing the array using a single pointer. On the same side I learned about the palindrome by using recursion. Today I solved two problems, that is first one reverse array and second one is a string is palindrome or not. String is palindrome or not. For the reverse array thing, whenever we are given with an array or string, when we have to check the symmetry, then the most optimal approach will be 2 pointers. So in order to reverse an array using 2 pointers, we have to use the 2 pointers. First pointer will be start, that is equals to 0, and second pointer we are going to take is end, that will be n minus 1, that is the length of the array. So let's write the pseudo code here. Let's define the function reverse. In this we are going to pass the parameters such as array, int start and int end. These are the three parameters which we are going to pass. This is the reverse function. In this we have took the three values, that is array, start and end. So let's initialize the first pointer start with 0, and obviously the next pointer will be the length of the array n minus 1. Now we are going to write the base condition, that is while start is less than end. Whenever the start will be less than end, then we are going to swap. Swapping can be done by using the temp variable. So temp is equals to int array of start. We are storing the start value in the temp variable. Then in place of start value we are going to store the value of array of end. Now array of end will be equals to temp, and then we are going to increment the start and decrement the end value. Next, in the main function we are going to take the input array from the user using the scanner thing, which we can write while coding, and then we are going to call the reverse function, that is reverse of, and we are going to pass the parameters array. This is the thing. And in order to solve, when we solve the reversing of array by using this approach, then the time complexity will be equals to big O of n, since each element is swapped, right? We are swapping each element. Next, the space complexity will be big O of 1, because we are not using any extra space here. If we see this approach diagrammatically, visually, if this is the array, this is 0, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we are doing, this is the start pointer pointing towards here, this is the end pointer which is pointing towards here. So initially start will be this and end, and then we are going to swap these two numbers. Next, start will be incremented over here, and the start pointer will come here, and this will be coming here. Now these two numbers will be swapped, right? So in this method we are using two pointers. So can we solve this using one pointer? Yes. In that case we are going to use the recursion. Now reversing the array using single pointer. Just now we had seen the case where we are using two pointers, that is start and end. Now we are going to use a single pointer. For example, if we consider this is the array 1 2 3 4 this is 0 1 2 3 4, so the value of n here is 4, right? So initially if we consider this is as I, so initially I is equals to 0, so this element should be compared with this element, right? That means n, so I should be swapped with n. Next this should be compared with this, and next this is the middle element, so this will be considered as n by 2. So now if we take I is equals to 0 should be swapped with 4. 4 in the sense 4 can be written as n minus I minus 1, that is the value of n is 4, 4 minus the value of I is 0 minus 1, that is 3. The value of n is 5, so this will be 5. 5 minus 1, that is 4. So fourth element should be swapped with 0. Now if we take I is equals to 1, so here it will be swapped with n minus 1 minus 1, that is 5 minus 1 minus 1, that means 5 minus 2, that is 5 minus 2 is 3. So this will be swapped with 3. So now let's write the pseudocode for this. So initially we are going to define the function void reverse, where we are going to give the parameters such as array, I value and n. Next we are going to write the base condition. The base condition will be what? If I is greater than or equals to n by 2, then we have to return back. Else we have to swap. So int temp is equals to array of I. Next array of I will be equals to array of n minus I minus 1, right? That is array of I will be equals to array of n minus I minus 1. Next array of n minus I minus 1 will be equals to temp. After swapping we have to call the function again, that is reverse, and now we are going to pass the parameters such as array, and now we are going to increment the I value, right? And n will be as it is. So this is the function. Now let's define the main function. This is the main function. Here obviously we are going to take the size of the array and array from the user using scanner thing. Next after that we are going to call the function reverse, and we are going to pass the parameters array, and initially the value of I will be 0 and n. So this is the way in which we are going to solve the reversing of array using single pointer. Here the time complexity will be big O of n, because these functions are running for n times, though it is n by 2, but in big O notation we are not going to take the lower terms, we are ignoring the constants and taking the main thing, that is big O of n, and the space complexity will be big O of n, right? But in 2 pointers the space complexity will be big O of n. Hence in interviews we have to go for this approach, 2 pointers approach. When they ask us to write the recursive version, then we have to use this approach.